If I could have everybody's attention. I want to welcome everybody to the Citizen of the Year dinner for Marlene Goldstein. We have two reps here. What an outstanding citizen for the town of East Longmeadow. We have two reps here. We have Sherry from Rep. Hupelow's office that's going to present the citation, and also Robin from Brian Ash's office, thank you, to present a citation. So, Sherry, you can go first.
Well, actually, I'll go
Robin
first.
will go first.
Robin's
Okay, I'm
had a
sorry.
wonderful intro.
Thank you. Congratulations, Marlene. Representative apologizes for not being able to come tonight. They're in formal session today at the State House, so he's still in Boston, but he does send his congratulations. And I read through your little bio there, and you've done quite the gamut of volunteer work, ranging from the PTO to the town events to the church to giving food to the food bank, to scouting. I mean, I think you've pretty much hit everything, and that's a wonderful accomplishment, and it should be commended, and it's a well-deserved award. I'm sure you enjoy donating your time and volunteering, but not everybody does that, and it's great to see people like you give back to the community, because that's really what makes a town a community, is by people giving to each other and helping each other out. So congratulations. And Sherry will now, we have the wording of the citation stays the same, but just Rep. Ash signed his and Rep. Hupelo signed his, so she'll just read one copy of it so people don't have to listen to it twice.
Unless you want to. Excuse me, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Marlene Goldstein in recognition of being honored as the 2019 Distinguished Citizen of the Year by the East Longmeadow Lions Club. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all your endeavors. And that's given this day, the 12th of June, 2019. And we have the signature of our Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, and also State Representative Angelo Hupelo and State Representative Brian Ash.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you for all the
Okay, if I could get everybody's attention, I'd like to welcome everybody for the gathering of the East Longmeadow Pride, and in recognition of our distinguished citizen, Marlene Goldstein. Where is she? There she is, right there. We also have a couple of one visitor anyway from the town. Denise Menard, our town manager, is present. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you supporting the Lions like you do. Thank you very much. We'll start it off with a Pledge of Allegiance. Donna. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I can get a verse of America, Bill. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Thank you. Carol, invocation, please.
This first line, the fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Amen.
And again, I'm Jerry Saletti. I am the president of the East Longmeadow Lions. And if we can have a toast, Kenny. But with you. Let's do it one more time, Kenny. One more time. There you go. Not above you, not beneath you, but with you. Okay, we'll start. The food should be here any minute.
Good evening. Welcome to our Distinguished Citizen event for this evening. My name is Scott Grabowski. Can you hear me over there? The youngsters with a good hearing? All right. Tonight, with the help of others, will help us navigate through the accomplishments and all the busyness that Marlene Goldstein has done for a few years now. She's not done yet, I hear. It won't be easy to cover everything, that's for sure. During my conversation at Marlene's home, preparing for this evening, it quickly became clear that a number of related words came to mind. Leader, chairperson, trainer, guide, mentor. A lot of different aspects of her life touched upon those. It's easy to see from Lou and Alice's nomination letter that Marlene had these attributes in her blood. She told me of her early experience going to Westfield State for a couple of years. That's a big teaching school. Years ago, it was really the teaching school. And that wasn't quite the right course of study for her at that time. So she started working at Tucker Anthony's, an investment company. Learned from some of the guys down there. Were there women leaders down there? Mostly men back then? Mostly men. She started learning the trade of investments. She learned from the ground up. That is where she met Ron, love of her life, who was a client down there. She eventually moved with Ron to East Longmeadow, to the farm, where she was greeted with chickens, geese, sheep, horses, I imagine, since Ron's dad played polo. This Polish girl from Chicopee was met with all sorts of animals. Marlene advised me that she became quite the farm girl, rounding up cows, running down the street as they were wriggled out of their fences. They also grew a lot of vegetables for over the years and donated many, many years to the local food banks. They're also growing children. Back to that leader, guide, mentor role, leading, mentoring, molding these Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, Brownies, all sort of blended in with those words. Serving and leading numerous town and parish committees. The list that Lou gave me, I had to change the font to a smaller font to fit it onto the PR release that came out. There were so many listed there, all of the committees and leadership positions she held. They also sponsored Vietnamese families at her parish. She was involved with that. And also, Lou told me that, Lou and Alice told me, any decorating team at the church, at the parish, she was involved with. She was the lead. She was the creative force from those decorating committees. And when Ron needed an assistant, some help running the movie theater business, Marlene jumped right in. She learned from an accountant that they brought in to help them organize things of better business systems. Back then, she advised me that they started with this adding machine with these tall, hard numbers. You had to press one at a time and then crank that arm. Didn't you have to crank an arm there, too? Well, and then Marlene helped develop the very first computer program for movie house theaters that helped them run their businesses much more efficiently. And then she helped guide their employees into learning how to run and access and implement these systems. There's that guiding, mentoring word again. But Marlene wasn't finished there. She went on to become a CPA. worked for United Technologies for several years, for many years, traveling around. And I think she said she was training more people, auditing and training more people during that capacity, traveling around the world and training even more people. For you Lions who don't know Marlene, she advises me that she enjoys her 4 grandchildren, enjoys country music, gardening, traveling to Mexico, Vegas, a lot of other places. I'm not sure exactly where. The stories may come out later about that. It's a very full life, Hilton Head, a very, very full life and more on the horizon. And I'm sure as she travels more, she'll be mentoring more and guiding more people. Through the years, Marlene has been committed and been on more committees and in more leadership positions than you can probably think of. And as the old saying goes, serving on a committee is like an easy chair. It's very easy to get into an easy chair, but very difficult to get out of an easy chair or a committee. Once you're on, you're on. But I think she really enjoyed serving on those committees and enjoying the leadership, mentoring positions that she has had. We're going to be hearing from a couple other people tonight, but Marlene, thank you for all you've done, all the mentoring, the guiding, and leadership positions. You are most deserving Distinguished Citizen of the Year, and thank you very much. We do have a couple of people who'd like to say a few words about you. Lou Calabrese and your son, Ken. I've told them to be nice, no razzing. So we'd like to start with Lou, if he could come up and say a few words. You can sing along if you'd like, Lou, as you're coming up. Lou is a longtime former Lion, East Long Meadow Lion member. They had a band years ago. What was the name of the band?
The Bandoleros.
The Bandoleros. Yep. Lou played, what did you play?
I played the accordion. We had harmonica players. We had a washtub bass guy. We used to do nursing homes, our own meetings, other Lions clubs.
With Bob Gilmet.
Bob Gilmet.
Yeah.
Oh, great guy. Yeah, we had some great guys. Well, anyways,
Well, please welcome Lou.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Marlene going back to, I'm going to say the late 70s when I first bought the Countryside store. Her and her husband and family were customers there. And
Hey, Lou, turn around this way. Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you guys are here. Let me see if I can position this a little better. How's that? I can only say that everything that's in this list of things she's done is great. But more so than that, each and every committee, group, or whatever, we're really very lucky to have the use of her organizational skills, which are just out of this world. She can make things happen. If there's a company or a group or whatever, they need something done, Marlene will make it happen. She makes it go off pretty good. And more recently, my wife came home from, she was on a committee for decorating for the new priest that was made a priest last week, and Marlene was in charge of that party, and she came home, she goes, Marlene had everything just down to a science, everything just pulled together fine. So, I mean, she gave her time, and she gave it in many areas, but she did it very well, and I think you won't find somebody with as good organizational skills. So, it's been a pleasure knowing you, Marlene, and I'm glad that this award is yours tonight. Right.
I do a lot of public speaking. I'm not nervous about talking to all of you. What I am nervous about, I'm a pretty tough guy. I've been a tough guy my whole life. Grew up on a farm, right? What I'm really nervous about is the only person on this earth that I actually fear is sitting right here. And Ms. Macaroni, could you stand up for a second? Small in stature, but that's one of her confidants in general right there. And watch her. So, I'm thinking about a few words to talk about my mother. I gotta stand up here. The podium never works for me.
Stand next to your mom for me.
Yeah, so words to describe her, okay? Obviously very, very loving, hardworking. You said it. Organized. Try being her son. Obviously, she's very intelligent, distinguished, graceful. Anybody that has known her, talked to her, very, very, very straightforward. You're gonna know what she's thinking, and that's where I got it from. Obviously, she's a natural leader. Relentless. She gets what she wants, and she does it with her eyes. And forgiving, and very, very caring. So growing up, as normal as it was growing up on a farm with a movie theater business, and all the things that went along with that with our family and all the things that we had to do, my mom was the rock. She was the person that kept us all together. And trust me, believe me, between my dad and me, she actually, this isn't enough. She should actually be nominated for sainthood for what she had. Okay? My dad was really, really hard on me. You know, he was a Marine, he was a tough guy. You know, he was tough. I'd leave the farm crying, go over there. She'd get, it's okay, Ken, it's okay, Ken. I'll get back over there and go to work. It's the way it was, you know, we had to get it done, right? You know, and then, you know, me and my sister Jen, we were very competitive with each other. You know, I was the big brother, we'd fight. I can't tell you how many times we'd go to church on Sunday, had to sit in the front row, and at the end of it, we'd go, and the next thing you know, we were both in corners for 2-3 hours. But I can honestly say I was very young. She put me in a corner, and to this day, under her dining room table, she didn't realize I had crayons in my pocket, and I decided to draw little lines and scratches underneath. It's still there to this day. So, you know, obviously, with all the stuff that she's done, the school committee, and the PTO, all the parish council stuff and everything else, she did all this, and a lot of the stuff on that list was while we had the farm going on and working at the theaters, and my sister and myself in sports and school and everything else, and it just amazes me the things that she did on that list. And she still got everything done. And that's that organization and all the things that she did. And it's just amazing to me how she did it. Teenage years, did a lot of vacationing with the Macarinis. And quick story about that. Rob Macarini, we met in kindergarten, I believe, right? Me and him were very, very competitive, right? We used to go down with anything that we played, it was an all-out war. We were teenagers, we were swearing, we were literally, so we used to go to Old Lyme, right? And we'd end up playing tennis. And it was out, it was in, and realized we were probably a quarter mile away from where we were actually staying. And we'd get done, we'd come back, and we'd think we were fine, and these two would look at us, and right to our room we went. My mother was very straightforward. She was always a straightforward person, right? But there was this fear about her. I had friends, another story now, I can neither confirm nor deny that this was true. My sister and myself, we decided we were gonna have a little party. We were starting to get up in our teenage years. And we had this house on the farm. And Colin, cover your ears, by the way, you should understand. But we had got some alcoholic beverages, possibly, put them in a bathtub, iced them up, and then decided we weren't gonna drink. So what did? We went out cruising all around. She got together, got her posse together with the people, and went out. We were driving. All of a sudden, this car comes up, basically corners us at an intersection, and she gets out. And one of my friends, Brian Savola, who I went to school with, Brian Savola, I know you're in there, and you better get home. To this day, Brian Savola will not pull into my mother's driveway. Lost my spot here. So, as far as myself goes, the mid-90s was a tough time for me. Made a lot of mistakes. Might get a little emotional with it, but it's okay. But I made a lot of mistakes, and I paid the ultimate price. And I had to go to jail for 3 years. This woman never gave up on me. She was always there for me. Visited. I thank you for that. It made me turn my life around. She guided me. She mentored me. All the things that I needed. And I came out stronger. And life went on. And I built something. And I started a construction company and all this stuff. I had this great business going, and all of a sudden I got into solar. And I got in, and she's like, what are you doing? You got all these people working for you, all this equipment. I'm like, Mom, I'm telling you, this is it. Okay, but I want to be your first customer. Okay, great. Now she had to read the contract, and it was 5 pages long. Don't tell her she wasn't my first customer, because I couldn't wait for her to make up her mind.
She was researching.
But anyways, I've been in this game as a solar thing. I just got promoted to be a regional manager. All those words that I described, I really, really wish that I had they described me. And I know that a lot of them do, because people tell me from time to time. I've moved up the ranks and all that. I control 7 states now. It's probably a pretty big deal. And I know for a fact that without this woman guiding me and in my life, I would not be the person that I am today. And I thank you for that. And here's the craziest part. Last night, me and my girlfriend, Christine, were having a conversation. I was just gone. I have to travel a lot. I was in Rhode Island for 3 days. And I can't stop working. I can't stop putting it all. I can't turn it off. Right? I get it from her. And she's like, we haven't spent any time. You got home at 7 o'clock. You're on the phone till 11. And I get into bed and it's just like I'm trying to work, right? And it's that work-life balance. Right? It's something I train with the people that work for me on. I have hundreds of people that work for me. And I train on this with these people. And I can't get it right. But she did. It's amazing the things that she's been able to accomplish with the things that have happened by me, my father, all the things that have gone on with life, and how she has been able to keep it all together and still do all the things on that list. It just blows my mind. And I look at it and I'm like, I wish I could just be half of what she is. Another point, my father, some of you might know, my father just passed away last month. These parties with Sister Mary and the father Dennis. My dad died. He died. Next day, she's on the phone, organizing this stuff, and still working on the party and talking to people and saying, we gotta do this and we gotta do that. That's where I get it from. So, sorry. Now, I could go on and on about her. There's no better, in my opinion, there's nobody more deserving of this. with charitable contributions, with work, you know, the balance that she had, community involvement in the school system, the church, all the functions, and most of all, Mom, with our family. You know, my dad was a very, very hard man to get along with. And she put up with a lot with him. He meant well, he just didn't know how to say he was sorry. It was almost like she said sorry for him all the time. I just want to thank you for being the person that you are, and I love you.
Thank you, Ken. King Lion Jerry. Earlier tonight, we had the representatives come and present Marlene with a couple of citations from the House. We did receive also one from Eric Lesser's office. Marlene, could you come up here for us? This is the official citation from the State Senate. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Marlene T. Goldstein in recognition of being named the 2019 Distinguished Citizen of the Year. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success. That's a no-brainer. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And it's signed by Eric Lesser, President of the Senate, Karen Spilka, and the Clerk of the Senate, Michael Hurley. With Jerry. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
You have a choice, right?
Fashion. Two flashes. On your way out. Beautiful.
Got it, Scott?
We have one more citation for you.
One more.
Yeah. Denise Menard, the town manager, is here also. She has something for you.
Hi, Marlene. It's such a pleasure to meet you. And so nice to be asked to attend this for the Lions. What a great organization, and what a great Citizen of the Year. I have a proclamation. It's not as big and fancy as the one you got from the Senate and the state reps.
But more heartfelt.
But it is a proclamation, be it hereby known to all in the town of East Longmeadow, that we offer our most sincere congratulations to Marlene T. Goldstein, Lions 2019 Distinguished Citizen of the Year, for her many years of dedicated service to various town and school committees, political campaigns, Boys and Girl Scouts, and the grateful citizens of East Longmeadow. Dated this 12th day of June 2019, Denise Menard, Town Manager. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Marlene, if you'd like to come up, please. As President of East Longmeadow's Lions, I'd like to present you as Citizen of the Year of 2019. Congratulations. One more.
Battery's charging.
Congratulations.
It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Now, this is
Wow.
your opportunity.
This is my opportunity.
This is yours. If you get back at your son.
Okay, let me just I got a couple of notes.
Okay.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to thank the Lions Club, the leadership, the committee who reviewed the candidates for choosing me as their choice for the candidate of the year. I was really kind of surprised when I got the call, because I said, you're going to give me what? And I said, why? Because I kind of went through life just doing things because they were there and needed to be done. I never really set out to be a trailblazer or anything like that. And I always pretty much followed my children's path, what they needed at a particular point in time. So if it was in their early years, when they were joining Scouts or whatever, there was always a need for leaders. And my thing is I had the good fortune to be able to stay home. It was a time where mothers were starting to go back to school because they needed to start saving money for college, or make it ends meet, or get the new house that they want, or whatever. And here I was, I had a home and whatever, so I thought, well, you can do this. They can't, and the children still need to be taken care of. And it didn't matter whether it was my own or whatever, if it was a group activity, they all needed to have the opportunity to do those things. And then it kind of progressed. They came through and they put in a PTO, and I joined the PTO because they wanted to buy playground equipment. The next thing I knew, I was president of that, and I helped out with that. And then every once in a while, something would flare up in the school system, and they'd go to the school committee, so I'd go to the meeting, and I got really interested in it. I mean, to me, education is and always will be. I had this expression that I hope God would strike me dead the day I said, we're not going to pay for education for kids in East Long Meadow. And a lot of people, once their kids are grown, start saying, hey, look, I don't want to pay all these bills. But, well, hey, guess what? When our kids were young, these people supported, through taxation, the budgets for the school committees and whatever. And I just refused to say I'm not going to be one of those people, because I think that's the most important thing you can ever do for a child in East Long Meadow. So, it went on. I went on to school committee, and I spent 7 years doing that. And then I kind of took a sabbatical because my husband lost the girl in the office, and asked me if I could go in for a little while until he hired someone, and guess what? I was there 10 years later. And I come to this desk, and I never had a business degree, and I says, okay, so I used to like to read books, and there was one on Iacocca, and basically said, surround yourself with people who know more than you do. So I went out and I got a lawyer, and I went out and I hired someone for the office, and this was the woman who helped me develop this computer system, and off we went from there. So it was more just trying to make things better as you went along through life. And, came back to finance committee and stuff, and then for a while I had gotten away from church work and whatever, and I got back into that, and that became very rewarding, because that's when we were doing the things with the farm and the food bank and all of that type of stuff. But it's not just about me, okay? It's about everybody in this room, and everybody contributes something. And I think, just noting that what the Lions do is important to mention, because it fills these little gaps that people take for granted. My parents were both Lions, okay? My mother was a Lioness when they had the women's, and my father was a Lion back in Chicopee, and he was also the King Lion for I don't know, a couple terms, something like that. So I kind of knew what the organization was. So out of curiosity, I went online and checked you guys out on Facebook to see, what you did, what kinds of projects you were having done, and whatever. Because I always remembered the key thing was when you used to have maybe you still do the boxes with the glasses that you drop in and stuff like that. And for the younger people in the room, my grandchildren, and my kids will remember this too, you know that fishing derby that we had every year down at the pond? Well, this is the club that stocked it. So when you guys got up at 4 or 5 in the morning because you wanted to get down there and get the biggest fish before whatever, it's something they have been doing forever, very quietly. But you have no idea what that does to a kid's soul. You know, it's like they wait for it all year long. My son is a fisherman, and my husband would take them down, and they would go down there. The other thing you do is the tree in the center town and the creche. And I think you were involved with the raising the money for the new lights that they just put on in there. Well, my kids know it when Santa used to come in on a fire truck. And Milton Bradley was still in town. And they used to donate games, and the kids would go in and they'd get things, you know, a small game board or something like that. And we were all down there, you know, and again, once again, it's the lions. And then I saw the pictures where the kids are painting the fire hydrants. This is the 175th. I was around for the 150th. And they did a similar thing back then where everybody's painting these fire hydrants and going around. They even had that time, I don't know if they're doing it this year or not, but they had a parade, and everybody decorated their bicycle, and they went down the main streets driving their bicycles and stuff. Those are the things that make East Long Meadow the kind of place that it is. I can remember my daughter saying to me, when I get out of school, I'm never coming back here. I'm going to go be one of those nurses in the sky and go here and there and whatever. And she came home for a summer and she met her husband, and she's never left. But we turn over our generations, and people, you know, you change because your values are different when you decide you're going to grow a family, and you want them to have what you had growing up. You know, that peacefulness, that camaraderie, that simple things are as important as the fancy vacations and all the other things that are competing for space these days. So I really want to tell you how much I appreciate this, but you as an organization also, because you've endured. I mean, you don't, if the language is in there correctly, we all know from things like these campaigns, you know, foundations and stuff like that, how much is taken in administrative fees, and you don't do any of that. It's strictly from your dues, and any money you raise goes back into the town. And that's admirable, because you just don't see that anymore. You know, it's all about the money these days. So again, I want to thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, I was just out there trying to help out. Is really how I've always been, wherever I can and whoever I can. So having said that, I'm also told that I'm going to ride in the parade. And I said to Scott today, if it rains, it's supposed to be a convertible car, and I said to him today, will they put up the top if it starts to rain? And he started laughing. He goes, yeah, we will. I says, that's good, because otherwise I wouldn't show up. But first and foremost, I need you guys to help me decide. I have a big decision to make, because I'm going to be sitting in this car, right? And I want to take a poll on what you think is the best thing I should do. So when I get in this car and I start driving down the road, I want to know what kind of wave I should do. Okay, so should I do the Queen's wave? You know, or should I do the political one? Or can I do this one? You tell me. No, don't tell me, because I'm going to do what I want anyway. So anyways, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the 4th, I guess.
Okay, with that, again, congratulations. What an outstanding citizen we have in the town. Okay, we're going to end the meeting, and Scott's going to lead us in what's called the Lion's Roar. That's how we end our meetings.
Everybody stand up. This goes. Roar, lions, roar, lions, roar, lions. Fight them, fight them, fight them. Or you can say fight them, fight them, fight them. So it's 3 roars. Ready? You gotta bend down, get your fists punched.
Roar, lions! Roar, lions! Roar, lions! Fight them, fight them, fight them! Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.